All right, guys. So welcome back to the RL Osborn BMX Freestyle channel. So recently we dropped a new logo, the RL American Made Bicycles logo, and a lot of you guys have been sending over tons of questions because you're wondering what that's all about. So we figured today we'd film a video, kind of going over all of that, talk about the direction we're heading with this business and our social media, just our online presence in general. Before we get into that, though, I think we wanted to talk about something else, right?
Yeah, this is cool because, I've only been back in this for a little over a year, right?
I think it's been closer to like over 2 years now, but it feels like we just started.
A year. You say a year.
I
have no idea.
That was about a year ago.
Okay,
I said that.
whatever.
Anyways.
But it's weird to be sitting here with two posters of Mike Buff. That he's doing a show coming up on June 4th in Dayton, Ohio, called the Buckeye Bike Show. We did it last year, Dylan and I.
This was a lot of fun. I mean, out of all the shows we've been to thus far, this is definitely my favorite that we've been to. I don't know if we're going to be going this summer, but I really wish we could be there.
But so we went there and we went on the ride out. Jamie and Alan put it on, and we rode an indoor skate park. We went on the ride out and just saw a bunch of old friends. It was really cool. There was riding, there was a bike show, there was a swap meet, and it's so weird to be sitting here with Mike Buff posters.
Yeah, right.
Here's one of them. It's kind of like, it's almost like things never stopped. You know what I mean? Usually if this was 35 years ago, I'd probably be somewhere on this poster, but still it's cool to see Mike Buff going to a show, and stuff like that. It's a trippy feeling.
Yep. And so the main show, there's the ride out, of course, and the main event, it's in Dayton, Ohio at I forget what the local college is called, but it's at the local college in their basketball gymnasium. So it's in this massive auditorium style room. And when we were there, there was how many bikes? At least 500 to
something like that.
1,000.
More,
maybe more. Plus all the way around the outer edge or outer ring of the gymnasium, there are people set up with their booths selling just old parts. It's like a full-on swap meet of vintage bicycle parts, clothing, everything you can imagine. Old uniforms and jerseys.
A lot of pros, old pros, new pros, I don't know, pretty much all the guys I used to ride to showed up and were doing some freestyle stuff. And then Jamie, who's the other half of putting this on, took us to a indoor skate park, which is like a track with jumps, but also is like an indoor skate park. So that was a lot of fun. And then we went on a ride.
Dave's or Mike's?
Steve's.
It's someone's name, and then indoor skate park.
It's the only indoor skate park in Dayton,
park.
Ohio.
Yeah. So definitely check that out if you're going to be there.
But then we went on a ride out in Dayton, Ohio, and it was so cool because it's a small city. There's tall buildings and stuff. It's real clean, real nice ride out. Everybody was just chatting and getting caught up on stuff. It was a very cool scene.
Yep. Dave Norrie was there last year, and Joe Sickman.
Yep.
As well as
Bill Nitschke was there.
Yep.
Flip from Albies was there. God.
There's a lot of cool people there. Poor boy Steve was there.
Stoney
was there. Yes. Yeah. And Dustin then too. Yeah. I forgot about that.
I met a ton of good people and a lot of people that I've talked with online. To me. So anyways, this is coming up, and
go to BuckeyeBikeShow.com for details, as well as tickets. And then it's coming up in just about a little over a month, so definitely a must see, or like one of the events of the year you got to go to.
So we're also talking about we're just kind of bringing you up to date on, we got a lot of stuff going on, and we just want to share that with you.
Kind of like an update on like the direction we want to take all of this in.
Yeah. So one thing that's come up is that.
Well, do you want to go over the logo first?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, sorry, I keep interrupting you.
I'm glad that you acknowledge that, because I'm like, if I interrupt you, you freak.
Well, I can tell each time I do, you get a little more. Your face gets a little more angry.
Because my gears just stop. Because you're like, if I interrupt you, it's like, wait, what? You interrupted me, and then you do it to me, and I'm like, how am I supposed to handle that? you know.
Well, because here's the thing. I'm like the editor of our videos, so I'm always thinking through the lens of our viewers and what's
You're
going to
thinking
be
through their eyes.
yeah, like what's going to be most exciting for them to watch. So as we're talking, I'm thinking, and we always do this thing where we just start monologuing, and we'll go for 10 or 20 minutes each at a time, and it's like I feel
valuable information. We just gotta tell them what's on our minds, man. We don't have to do the whole scripted thing. Just tell them what's going on.
I know. Anyways, okay, we're drifting.
You wanted to
Logos, yeah. So recently we dropped the new logo, the RL oval with the American-made bicycles. We've been saying for like it feels like the last 10 years that we're coming out with a prototype for the frame, fork, and bars that RL.
How many years?
It feels like 10 years, but I mean, we keep saying it, and there's been no updates. So we figure it's time to kind of talk to you guys about what's going on. You want to start with that?
Sure.
We ordered those originally.
So, at least the last year, and maybe even a couple months more than that, I've been on the phone with collecting information about the industry, trying to find American people to build our bike, right? And it's hard because most of them are really busy. Some of them, don't want to do it. Maybe they think the bike, there's just.
To me, it seems like vast majority they have more than enough work than they can, more work than they can handle. COVID's causing a lot of issues with delays as well as lack of metal supply. Those seem to be the two main things for me.
Right, and then the other part, the part that's hard is because everybody is so strapped for time, or they're worried how the price of the bike's going to come out and everything like that. We're sacrificing our design because maybe they don't like to do that kind of stuff, or maybe they're
so busy. It's almost like they're just trying to squeeze us in and get it done as quickly as possible.
So I mean, bottom line is straight gauge. It's really hard to get anything double butted or preheat treated on things like that.
Double top tubes are hard to get.
Double top tubes, like anything that's out of the norm, and we're trying to do different brakes and a whole different geometry that hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
And that's so that's really hard, and so we keep getting pushed and like, well, I can do it for you, but it's gonna you're gonna have to give this up, or you're gonna have to give that up, and so.
Or it's like the price is so expensive that it's like the amount we're gonna have to charge is just like it's over the top and not worth it.
Yeah, well, because we would have to be selling it. I mean, even if anyways, we don't have to worry about that. But the learning curve has been massive. I want to say. I want to give a big shout out to Laird Frames, Mike Laird. He used to be a pro. I think he still rides. Must have been a pro rider. You guys all know Laird Frames, and I can tell you, I've been researching every day for at least a year, and I can't find a flaw in what he's doing.
Yeah.
I highly believe that he's making some of the best bikes out there, and he's passionate about it. And I asked him about some questions that I had about building bikes and certain tubes and things like this, and he fully answered me. Yeah, I was so thankful for that. I want to thank you, Mike. He gave me some very valuable information, and that was very cool. But
seems like he's the leading edge guy on titanium frames as well. Yeah. From what I've seen online and stuff.
Well, yeah, because he's got some of the best guys in the world riding his bikes. He doesn't just give his bike to a guy and say, "Go for it." He gets feedback. And so he takes that. He's learning. He's not like, a mass company that's just producing a bunch of bikes. Got to get them out at our deadline. Artwork's gonna be done. No, he's listening to the riders, and he's finding out where the weak points are, or how to make it better, or is it handling right. So he really knows his shit, man. Yeah. I'm telling you, you can't go wrong with Laird Frames, and him being a rider himself, and a very good rider when he was competing. So we kind of decide we're moving in the direction of, because I used to do welding for when I was building custom motorcycles. I did TIG welding, a little bit of MIG, mostly TIG welding, and so I'm kind of relearning that now, and we're thinking about making our own prototype just to test out the ideas that we have.
Yeah. And
to limit the restrictions. This way we are kind of at our own, on our own defense. When anything happens, it's us. But just prototypes, just to test out if what we're doing is right. And if we need a 26-inch fork with Magura brake studs on the front, we don't have to call around the world to try to find somebody that's willing to do it, but they won't heat treat them.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that. You know, we can do.
Because I think what's happened is we've basically gone and talked to every small to mid-sized manufacturer that's located in America or manufacturing in America, and it's either, like we said, too expensive, they don't have the time, or we ordered a prototype, 2 sets of prototypes, one for each of us. And I think that was over 6 months ago. We were supposed to have it about 6 months ago, and we haven't heard anything. So it's kind of like, you know, again, it's probably this guy's probably not able to get metal, or just,
right.
you know, because of all the delays going on with COVID and everything. So we've kind of decided, why don't we take things into our own hands? RL uses his experience he has in welding, you know, learns a little more as well, and then possibly teaches me what he knows, so that we can kind of work towards the goal of welding and building our own frames ourselves one day.
Right.
Not massive production level stuff, you know, one-offs. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if we'd be doing the final welds. I mean, I suppose if we got good enough, but I know a lot of good welders around here that would come by and weld them up for us.
It's not the guy that did the hard.
No, not that guy. No, that was a different thing. But, you know, I can totally get into what S&M is doing, because Chris has everything he needs to do right there. He can heat treat, bend, weld, shape, prototype.
You said S&M?
Yeah.
Okay.
S&M. Because I'm riding an SM, a 20-inch ATF. It's 20 and a half inch top tube. And man, that bike does not change. Nothing. I have an S&M. I don't know if I have my S&M stem on there, but when I did, it was great. S&M bars, great stuff. You know, I mean, it works really good, and that's what we're more after. We'd rather have control of kind of our dream on how we want to build this thing, or if we want to do some choppers or whatever.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want.
And our goal is to document and video basically the entire process of us, you know, me learning how to weld, RL teaching me, us going through the process of just learning how to make our own frames.
Right.
We think that'd be a cool thing to share with you guys.
Yeah, we kind of, you know, because we talk a lot online, and you know, there's a lot of back and forth, and I mean, for us, it's a new thing, it's a challenge, it's creating our own thing that we really want to do instead of sacrificing. And then hopefully you guys will get into it while we're in the room and we're welding, and I'm sure you guys will say, hey, here's an idea, why don't you run it like this?
Yeah.
Who knows? It just seems like it'd be a cool environment to be filming and welding and machining some stuff.
Absolutely.
Yes, I've had, just so you understand, I've had a Miller 180 square wave TIG welder, full-size jet 1340 lathe, and a full-size jet mill that I was making Harley parts on for years, you know, for a long time. But I still there's still things I want to learn, get better at, and I don't know, it just sounds like a good idea. So we can create what we want to create. We may not be selling it, you know, we might not be able to sell it until we get our design down, but
it seems like a fun journey to something new and something cool to learn. That would be, you know, just rewarding to have that kind of skill in life.
To be honest with you guys, we have created a number of parts already.
Yeah.
I
was just gonna say
that people want, and that we ride every day, and that I wouldn't ride any other product because of that. But trying to get somebody to make that right now with, you know, China shut down, and finding people to be able to build this stuff for you at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
With inflation gone through the roof, it's just impossible. So we're kind of going, well, let's not worry about selling so much stuff. Let's just worry about, you know, enjoying what we're doing, you know, and building some good products as much as we can, and
documenting and just having fun the whole way, or along the way.
Right.
I think, that's a big part of it, is just kind of like showing you guys an inside look at the entire process, as well as,
Yeah, and I mean, when you guys comment on what we're doing, or was talking to a guy this morning that he was watching the new video where I crashed. I crash 100 times a day. It looks worse than it is, but it's easier to fall on the ground than try to catch myself. That's when I really do damage, like running across the garage into a wall. It's just better just to lay down or slide on my knees. But you know, we're getting a lot back in return. It feels good.
Yeah.
So it's we're gonna start doing the 20M big bike, right? And what you were saying,
For videos.
how tos and stuff.
Yeah, we want to start being more consistent with the content and videos we're putting out. I mean, we're talking right now about doing hopefully up to 3 videos a week every week. Of those would include interviews with riders from back in the day, how-tos for tricks on both the 20-inch as well as the big bikes. And again, I'm obviously still brand new to riding, so it's going to be mainly RL teaching you guys that. And then as I pick up stuff, I'm going to try and or as I'm learning things, I'm going to share the tips and tricks that seem to be helping me along the way. What product reviews we want to get into, like I said, showing you guys the process of us learning welding or myself learning, RL teaching me. What else?
Me teaching you, he doesn't like when I teach him. Man. It's like nobody likes to be taught by their dad. So, which is kind of cool because I can just go to the skate park and ride. I don't have to worry about teaching him anything, unless he wants. I forgot what we were talking about.
Well, what other kinds of videos? Did I miss anything? Just like us going to different events, like the old school BMX reunion, going to bike shows like the Buckeye.
We're not supposed to say the time yet, right? Till Xavier calls us.
No, they've released it already.
September 4th.
I think it's like Memorial Day weekend or whatever.
2nd to 4th or September, something like that.
Yeah, September.
And if you're interested in the old school bike reunion in Tehachapi, California, from what I understand, it sells out every year, so you might want to get on that. But man, it's like we got the whole Woodward to ourselves.
Yeah,
dirt jumps, big ramps, small ramps, mini ramps, bowls, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then we want to get back into. I'm getting a lot of people asking me online, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? Or how does this work? And I'm like, well, I'm really not riding. I got to get back to a 26, But they're both completely different little journeys that you can go on. And so we're going to show how-tos on both of them and tell you what I figured out,
There you go.
or what Dylan has figured out.
Yeah. What else?
There was more.
Do we want to talk about the subscriptions possibility?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with that?
He gives me the dirty job, right? So, the whole thing about building a bike and getting it stickered and decaled, and at some point you got a business. We actually have a business going. We spent a lot more money than we've made with prototypes and building
I think
bikes.
the honest truth is it's expensive doing all these prototypes and videos and taking time away from our jobs to be able to make that content. Our goal is, for me at least, is to be able to do this almost as like for a living one day, full time. And so, we're considering at some point maybe doing a subscription type thing where we do like a monthly fee for certain like premium content. So like the how-to videos or something like that. What do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, like, it'd be something like $5,000 a month, and then you get a couple how-tos or something. No, very reasonable, and we're thinking there would be a discount for products that we're selling. Merchandise. We're just trying to support being able to keep doing this at the level that we're doing it at.
It's gonna be super minimal.
Yeah, but I think a lot of good can come out of it.
Yeah.
I think there's just a lot of stuff we want to do, but we're so restricted with the lockdowns and no metal and everything. We still want to keep going on with building products and shooting more videos and riding a lot. So that's kind of what we're thinking. You guys see any big flags, red flags in what we're talking about? Like always, we're sharing this journey with you guys because you guys are the other half. In fact, we're all just part of it, and so we love to hear what you guys have to say.
Yes.
What else was it? So we would probably we have a downstairs room, which is funny. I had it all wired up with 220,
Oh, right.
and then we were gonna sell the house, and then we decided not to. But so when we pulled it all out. So we're gonna put 220 back down there, but we're gonna have a room dedicated to welding and creating these products and
It's gonna be our
laboratory. Yeah, it's like our Frankenstein room.
Yeah, it's gonna be our laboratory.
Yeah, we'll probably move the pictures down there, clean it up a little bit. That's what I'm kind of thinking, right?
Yeah. Patrick wants to possibly learn, so we're gonna have Patrick. We're always trying to get Patrick in the videos. He's very elusive, so
It's popular. Good guitar.
he's got a lot of places to be.
But we have. I mean, I gotta tell you guys, there's some stuff that Shay has done. That's our Shay Snow, our artist, it's gonna blow your mind. I mean, every time I look at that video, I'm just like, oh my god, that's just freaking sick.
And we mentioned this before, but he's the guy who designed the logo, the new logo as well.
Yeah, he is. He is a gift, man. I'm telling you that. So it's a pleasure to work with him. And he's in a band, and they're starting to do live shows again. So
Driftwood Ramblers.
Yep.
Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, right?
Memphis,
Tennessee. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's trying to hook me into doing a song, and I'm like, no way, because they're like professional. Man, he's got a guy who plays with him that plays in an orchestra or something like that.
Oh, really?
Plays any instrument. I'm like, no, man. I don't want the stress of playing with people that are that good. Just play with crappy guys or make my own junk music. Or do it with Pat.
Yeah.
Pat's a lot better than I am too, but I'm learning.
Shay's talking about coming out to the old school BMX reunion this year as well.
Right.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't crash this time and miss the whole.
Oh yeah. And so Shay's the singer as well as harmonica, right?
Yeah. And did you hear his national anthem on the harmonica?
No, I didn't.
Oh, we were talking on the phone, and I'm like, what? Can you imagine in front of a bunch of people doing the national anthem on a harmonica? And so he sent it to me, and I truly was moved, man. I mean, it was beautiful.
Wow.
Man, it was beautiful. I didn't think it would work, and it not only did it work, it was incredible.
You'll have to show me that.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. But so we want to get into all kinds of different things,
Yeah.
Anything that kind of comes with this life, conversations with you guys about different things. That's what we're hoping, and that's the direction we're going to go in. Hopefully you guys will come along and kind of get with us on it.
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything we wanted to discuss, right?
Yeah, I want to say one thing. If you haven't seen, I'm sure you guys know who Tony Hawk is. If you haven't seen his new documentary, I think it's on Netflix. Watch it. Man,
is it HBO? Is it Netflix?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It's a Tony Hawk documentary. I think he's like 56, something like that, and he is just going for it, man. I mean, he hasn't backed off, and his dedication to doing what he does,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's incredible. So if you want to watch something that's very motivating, check out Tony.
Cool.
And he is so truthful through the whole video. I think, as I listened to him, I shared a lot of the same things as when I was going through my career, and he was so honest about it. He was straight up honest about it. And it was such a pleasure to watch when people tell the truth about their lives, and they don't try to. Well, no, I've been paid $100 million a year since the day I started, But check it out; it's really good.
Cool.
You haven't seen it yet, right?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
No, but I'll check that out. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about it. A lot of people posted about it. Cool.
I was gonna say something else. I mean, this is the first video in a long time, so I got a lot to say.
Go for it. I'm right on then.
So I was thinking, I've been learning a few of my tricks I do with no brakes, right? I just want to see what these pros are feeling, and or just get a glimpse of it, basically. And I was going to equate it to when you're doing a double jump, just flying from one jump. Maybe there's only a foot or two gap, but you land front wheel on that other jump, and come down smooth on the backside, right?
Mm.
It is, in my life, that feeling of clearing a double, landing smooth and coming out of it with more speed, it's hard to say if there's a better feeling in this world than doing that. I mean, it's a total addiction. And what I'm learning about riding brakeless on a few tricks is like in that recent video, I'm just learning to spin and without using my brakes, and the bike naturally comes into a circle, and it just like you'd think it would flip out, which it did on me, but it'll go into that circle and it just like takes over. The bike takes over, but that feeling of going through those spins and the bike just rotating, and then you come out of it, it's just as good as clearing a double jump. And ease into it, you know, if you're older, keep your finger on your rear brake or front brake, depending on how you're doing it. But man, there's a lot of interesting feelings that come with the no brake style riding. I'm understanding what their trip is on that. I still do a lot of stuff with front brakes and rear brakes, which I love. You know, that's part of the old school way. So both ways is great, but I haven't really experienced this whipping feeling where everything just naturally turns in circles and it just wants to keep going, you know. So you might want to check out that thing, something like that. Is that too long?
A little nugget of advice for you guys.
Well, I mean, I think it's a big thing. Old school is all about brakes, you know.
Yeah.
And when I saw the good guys, new guys riding with no brakes, I'm like, that's dumb. Why are you doing that? I mean, you know? And then I thought, wait a minute, skateboards don't have brakes.
Yeah.
And I decided to try to find out what they're getting out of it. Like, you know, you'll hear old guys go, all they do is spin 360s, you know. Well, man, let me tell you, there's a lot going on in those spins that they do, and there's some great feelings that come out of that. So just get a taste of it, you know, and try it out, you know.
Coolio.
Yeah. And Terry Adams runs brakes.
Yeah, he does.
Terry Adams is a top pro, and he still has front brakes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Makes brakes okay.
Maybe for because it's flatland. Maybe.
What's what we're talking about is flatland riders.
Yeah.
I mean, in a skate park,
Yeah.
flatland on the street without brakes. It's all weird to me, but I really have got a good idea of why they do it. It's more of a flow, and it's more of a natural movement instead of trying to get your brakes to make your bike move a certain way. It's just really fascinating to me, and it's got me hooked.
Yeah.
My head pretty blank.
Is he like kissing the seat post there?
Damn, yeah.
That's crazy how you guys get so far back like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Alright, should we wrap the video up?
He's got the old style jersey on here.
Yeah, I like that.
Look at that. That says SE Racing. And that was, man, how long ago was that? And he still rides for SE. PK cool. Ripper, landing gear forks. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Alright, you want to close it up?
Yeah. Alright guys, as always, we appreciate you watching the video and sticking around to the end. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.